Saint had a loving family.
He was the most gentle, like a gentle giant, you know.
His owners don't understand why their dog's jaw was broken or why he was killed at Philadelphia Animal Care and Control.
I flipped out.
Yeah, I was angry.
Brian Landis blames himself in part.
Yeah, I regret taking Saint with me. Absolutely. I lost my best friend.
Landis adopted Saint years ago, shortly after being released from prison. He served time for crimes he says he committed to feed his heroin addiction. It's an addiction he still struggles with. Back in August, Landis was looking for drugs when Philadelphia police pulled him over. Saint was in the back seat. Landis says he was with the police for about an hour and a half. He wasn't charged with a crime. While Philadelphia police tried to get Landis back into drug rehab, they say they took Saint to ACCT Philly. Landis and his partner Tiffany Lavelle showed up a few hours later to pick up their dog. Saint was severely injured. Medical records show Saint was bleeding from his mouth. The vet's notes confirm his jaw was broken. His owners recorded what shelter staff told them.
The dog is at a point medically where what's best for him, if I'm being really transparent, might be to stay here.
So Landis and Lavelle say they left Saint at ACCT, where they thought he would be cared for. When they came back the next day, Saint was dead.
When did they put him down?
My understanding is it was after Brian left, and
That day?
Not only was their dog dead, his remains disappeared.
Where's his ashes?
so we do.
Where's his leash and his collar?
So those things aren't.
Oh my God. He took every piece of him.
In an email to the NBC10 investigators, Philadelphia police confirm an officer did transport a dog to ACCT Philly and confirmed an internal affairs investigation was open to determine what, if any, role PPD officers may have played in this tragic event. ACT's now former executive director, Aurora Velasquez, resigned last month but is staying on until early November. We spoke with her before that announcement, wanting to know how Saint's jaw got broken.
Yeah, I mean, it's a question we continue to ask ourselves.
Velasquez says she authorized his euthanasia.
It was informed by a veterinarian, which is, what is protocol and required.
And she tells us ACT tried to explain the severity of the injury to Landis.
That was what we were trying to get to with that conversation with the gentleman when he was here.
She insists there was no cover-up and no one intentionally got rid of Saint's ashes and collar, but also admits ACT isn't perfect.
I think some mistakes were made.
Fixing them will be ACT's next executive director's responsibility. Saint's owners won't let them forget.
I would like something so big to come out of this that when they look back and think of him, they literally think of him as a saint.
For the investigators, Claudia Vargas, NBC10 News.
And we're already seeing changes because of this report.
Just late this afternoon, an ACT spokesperson sent an updated statement saying what happened to Saint was heartbreaking and unacceptable. It goes on to read in part, as there are 2 ongoing investigations, we are limited in what we can say. However, in addition to reiterating the importance of adhering to our procedures and the real-world consequences that our actions have, our internal review has led to changes in policy to prevent a tragic situation like this from happening again.